Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Here's the rookie from Alabama, Will Reichard, ready to get us started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Stroud looks to throw on the first play. And his first look is incomplete.
We have to see what kind of looks this defense is going to throw at him as this game moves along, but they're in a zone to start. I do think we'll see plenty of man coverage as we move along, but the first throw of this one, incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run it for the first time with Dameon Pierce. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Stroud looking to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And Stroud now to throw. That's underneath to Pierce. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Stroud out of the gun here. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 23. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Here's Stroud. And one more time, here's Kirk. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
2 yards to go, 2nd down. Now Stroud going to bat it forward on the touch pass. What a great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Stroud. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Nice gain of 8 that time, and it's 2nd and goal. Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams and openings in order to create these complete.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Nick Chubb punching it in from a yard away. And the Texans are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it, and he gets it done.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And out now come the Vikings. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Jefferson going to go in motion right. And now a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Jones. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 6. They'll go play action. Here's McCarthy. He's going to find Jefferson open downfield. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 27 yards there, a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And down to the 41.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
McCarthy operating from the gun. That is incomplete. The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it, and the Texans are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Now Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care.
There he goes, right side. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A huge play there for Houston. 45 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. He's settling in nicely here in the first quarter running the football. Remember, he already has the touchdown run.
And you can feel the vibe, can't you? He's in unison with his offensive front. They are in concert together. So if you're flipping over to the other side line of scrimmage, they've got to be more physical and handle some of these gaps that have been created.
Stroud to throw it. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Christian Kirk, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Heck of a start. A 30-yard pickup on their first play from scrimmage.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the first down.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 36. An inside give to Jones. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 42 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
To the air with McCarthy. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson taking it in. And the Vikings have cut it back within a score. That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with the touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence, because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. They run again on first down, Chubb. And it'll be a minimum pickup here, as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score. Texans football to start quarter 2, as they've got it 2nd and 7. Throwing now is Stroud. Open man is Higgins. And he was able to shed 1 tackle, but could not get away from there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. He's got his target. That's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 40. The 3rd down conversion successful. A gain of 11.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 31, here comes 2nd and a yard. Stroud will look to throw once more. Shakes off the sack. Forced out to his left. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Well, here's your first example of how this guy can beat you in more ways than one, because they took away his arm, but he was more than happy to dissect them with his legs for that first down pickup.
Back to throw now on first down. Quick slant caught by Kirk. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And I think he just wanted to give the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Here's 2nd and 2 now from the 3. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Drops it off for Chubb. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense, because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get it out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
They'll send Kirk in motion right. Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And Chubb fighting, but nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped short of that first down marker. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
The kick by Fairbairn is good, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Jefferson going to go in motion right. Throwing is McCarthy. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Will Anderson, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's down the field for Jefferson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
2 things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Stroud. He's got Higgins over the middle. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Stroud working out of the gun. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 4. They give to Chubb out of the gun. He can't get him down. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 53 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
This pass complete to Higgins. They just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. A shotgun snap to Stroud. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Sacked by Andrew Van Ginkel. Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Nico Collins from 13 yards out. And the Texans are able to extend their lead. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out. Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Slot man moves right. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. McCarthy off the play fake. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
But this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other, because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
From the shotgun, McCarthy. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that will close the gap down to 14. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
33 yards that time.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Stroud out of the gun here. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now it's 3rd and 3.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Fairbairn now, following the made field goal, he'll send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants a drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Open man is Jalen Naylor. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 44-yard line. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Here's McCarthy. And the pressure gets to him again. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. The slot man in motion right. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough, and it'll be 4th down.
This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on first and second down, needing long yardage to try and pick up a first down, and they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down, but guess what? It all started with what happened on first and second down. Really put them behind the 8 ball.
That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
On play action, now McCarthy. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw McCarthy. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Just what they needed, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
McCarthy operating from the gun. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
He's been making himself a weapon as a runner, and the results, they've been welcomed by his offense. My question is about the defense we're watching right now, partner. Even after he got him with a scramble earlier this drive, they still aren't devoting enough attention to him. I would expect that after that carry, they'll do a much better job going forward, spying on him on passing downs.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Now third down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that will close the gap down to 14. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. Here's Stroud. He finds his man, complete. It's Higgins. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 64 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Going out wide, finds Chubb. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that will bring up second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
That's caught on the left side by Kirk. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Again, it's Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That's a third down conversion to 24 yards there. Nice play.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Stroud to throw it. This will be caught at about the 6. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. C.J. Stroud. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Texans have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And the football going back to the Vikings offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
He had to fight that time. Ran through 1 tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
2nd down, another shot for Jones. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. Again, it's Jones. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. That is caught. And he will have a Vikings 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Up the middle, Jones. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to the huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And here's Jones again on second down. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 85 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. They'll go play action. Here's McCarthy. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Gets around him. A little second effort there on the strong run. And then drop just inside of the 20. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
3rd and 5. To the air with McCarthy. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Now Jones. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Aaron Jones taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Vikings are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And now out comes Houston. Their lead down from 21 to 14, but still sitting at a great spot. Up 2 scores here in the 3rd quarter. Throwing now is Stroud. That's complete. It's Collins. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. As Stroud now to throw. Finding space at the 40. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. Now Stroud. He'll complete this one to Collins. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do, because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
And this is seemingly how it's been all game long. This defense has been just a step too slow. And here they're burned again. Another big play.
Stroud looking to throw. And it's caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now McCarthy. That is into the hands of Hockenson downfield. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Throwing is McCarthy. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll run it with Jones. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. He's been tough for this defense to handle, over 100 yards. You kind of knew that they were going to him on that play, didn't you?
They certainly did. That's one of those situations where you simply say, my best runner, over my best blockers. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And I don't care if they know it on the other side. Here we come, and they got it done.
A gain of 3, second down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
From the 23, here's a 2nd and 7. They'll go again to Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal. He's done his part sailing past the century mark on the ground with rushing yardage, but his team, a different story.
Yeah, they're down big in this ball game, so sometimes you wonder to yourself how much of that is him with a great performance and how much of that is the defense just loosening up because they have a big lead.
And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Point after try forthcoming. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Houston's offense taking over again. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. Looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Well, they get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down. Jonathan Greenard running in to pick up the sack. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Play action. Stroud now. Drops it off for Chubb.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun. Stroud got a man. It's Collins complete. So the completion good for 6 yards. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been tough to stop. 8 for 10 so far. This time it's 3rd and 3. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he is going to have a Texans first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. Back to throw. Stroud. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. So they need 2 yards here on 3rd down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. That burst good for 20 and a first down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. C.J. Stroud taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Texans have opened up a 3-score lead as they pull away here in the 4th. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be 2nd and a couple. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
He'll drop this underneath for Jones, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Looking to throw McCarthy. And that's incomplete. I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
Now a 2nd and 10. McCarthy operating from the gun. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing again, McCarthy. Got an open man, finding Jefferson. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 45-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
McCarthy going to throw again. Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, 36 yards. And the Vikings get a bit closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. And again, it's Chubb. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On third down, it's Nick Chubb. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Nick Chubb with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans tack on another score as they have dominated this fourth quarter. Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Now 2nd and 5. Here's McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball, and unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. You can't hit him illegally. Stop him downfield the way you're supposed to.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Stick him with a pass. Here's McCarthy. There's Hawkinson in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will be cut down to 14. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. The risk-reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.